Hi everyone, I'm Alin and welcome back to Economic Concept. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting question. But before I start, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel because your support is very important to me. And we have already gathered 6,000 people and that's amazing. So thank you a lot for the support. As you may have seen in the title, why have Switzerland, Norway and Iceland chosen to stay outside the European Union? These three nations share strong economic ties with the European Union, but have consistently resisted full membership. From economic self-sufficiency to political independence and migration concerns, each country has its unique reasons. Despite the benefits of being part of a unified economic bloc, these nations have chosen to carve out their own path. So let's break it down and uncover the motivations behind their decision to stand apart from the European Union.
1. Economic factors, wealth without membership. Let's start with the economics. Norway, Switzerland and Iceland are some of the wealthiest nations in the world, with strong economies driven by key sectors. Norway, a country rich in natural resources, particularly oil and gas, Norway enjoys substantial revenues from its energy exports. The Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, valued at over $1.4 trillion, is one of the largest in the world. EU membership could mean surrendering control over its lucrative energy sector and contributing heavily to the EU budget. Additionally, Norway benefits from the European Economic Area (EEA) agreement, allowing access to the single market without the financial and regulatory burdens of full EU membership. Switzerland. Known for its robust banking and finance industry, Switzerland thrives as an independent economic powerhouse. With a GDP per capita exceeding $94,000, Switzerland has negotiated over 120 bilateral agreements with the EU, allowing it access to the single market without the constraints of full membership. The country also has a highly specialized economy, with sectors such as pharmaceuticals and precision manufacturing playing key roles. Iceland. Iceland's economy is heavily dependent on fishing, contributing to over 40% of its exports. EU membership would require Iceland to adhere to the common fisheries policy, which many Icelanders believe would compromise their control over fishing rights. Furthermore, Iceland has developed renewable energy sectors such as geothermal and hydroelectric power, allowing it to remain self-sufficient in energy production. These countries benefit from access to the EU's single market through agreements without being bound by EU agricultural and fisheries policies or contributing fully to the EU budget. 2. Political independence and national sovereignty. Politics play a crucial role in the decision to stay out of the EU. All three nations prioritize sovereignty and direct democracy. Norway. Norwegians have rejected EU membership in 2 referendums in 1972 and 1994. The key concern remains the loss of sovereignty. Decisions made in Brussels would have direct consequences on Norwegian policies, reducing the government's autonomy. Norway's ability to make independent decisions about its energy sector and fisheries remains a top priority for voters. Switzerland. Switzerland places great emphasis on its tradition of direct democracy. Major political decisions are put to public referendums, and EU membership has repeatedly been rejected by the Swiss population. Swiss citizens value their ability to directly influence policies without external interference. Iceland. After the 2008 financial crisis, Iceland initially considered EU membership for economic stability. However, public sentiment shifted as the economy recovered. Concerns over control of fisheries and skepticism about EU bureaucracy kept Iceland out. Icelanders are also wary of losing control over their natural resources and financial policies. These countries prioritize political flexibility and self-determination over the uniform regulations required by EU membership. 3. Migration and the Schengen Agreement. Migration policies and border control are often central to the EU debate. Norway. Although part of the Schengen area, Norway retains more control over its immigration policies compared to EU member states. Norwegians value this flexibility, especially when it comes to labor market access and refugee quotas. Switzerland. Switzerland is also part of the Schengen area, but maintains strict control over immigration through bilateral agreements. In a 2014 referendum, Swiss voters narrowly supported quotas on EU immigration, causing friction with Brussels. This highlights the Swiss desire to maintain control over population growth and labor market dynamics. Iceland. Iceland follows Schengen rules, but benefits from its geographical isolation, reducing migration pressures compared to mainland Europe. The country's smaller population also means that large-scale migration could significantly impact its social and economic balance. These countries value their ability to tailor immigration policies to national needs, rather than following one-size-fits-all EU rules. 4. What these countries do not want from the EU. Despite the benefits of EU integration, there are several aspects of EU membership that Switzerland, Norway, and Iceland actively wish to avoid. Loss of control over natural resources. For Norway and Iceland, joining the EU would mean adhering to policies governing natural resources like fisheries and energy. This could undermine national interests and long-term economic stability. Common Agricultural Policy (CAP). The CAP is seen as overly bureaucratic and expensive by many non-EU states. It could disrupt Switzerland's highly efficient and self-sufficient agricultural sector. Financial contributions. EU membership comes with substantial financial obligations. While Norway already contributes significantly as part of the EEA, full membership would likely mean even higher contributions without proportionate benefits. Regulatory overreach. EU rules and standards can be viewed as overly complex and restrictive. Switzerland, with its strong banking sector, fears losing competitive advantages under EU financial regulations. Political bureaucracy. Decisions made in Brussels often feel distant from national realities. Icelanders, for example, fear losing the agility of their government's decision-making process. Migration quotas. EU's common migration policy could impose quotas and reduce national flexibility in managing immigration flows. These concerns highlight why these countries are cautious about full EU membership despite economic ties. 5. How would these countries change if they joined the EU? Joining the EU would bring significant changes to Norway, Switzerland, and Iceland across economic, political, and social dimensions. Economic contributions. All three countries would be required to contribute significantly to the EU budget. Regulatory alignment. They would need to fully align with EU regulations, potentially impacting industries like banking in Switzerland, fishing in Iceland, and energy in Norway. Political integration. National sovereignty would be partially compromised, as EU laws would take precedence over national legislation. Migration policies. These countries would need to adopt the EU's common migration policy. Public sentiment. Public opposition suggests that EU membership could trigger political unrest. Fishing rights. Adhering to the common fisheries policy could harm Iceland's economy. While EU membership could offer enhanced political influence and better integration with European markets, it would also come at the cost of reduced sovereignty and financial contributions. Conclusion. Switzerland, Norway, and Iceland have each charted their own paths outside the EU, leveraging economic strength, political independence, and flexible migration policies. Their decisions highlight an important geopolitical lesson. Membership in a large political union isn't the only route to success. These nations continue to thrive while maintaining strong yet selective partnerships with the European Union. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video on economic concept.